Hello together and welcome to our technical session today. I would like to compare Google Workspace to Microsoft Office 365. What do we have in these two powerful platforms that we have today based on the current market situation or the worldwide pandemic? I think everyone is working today in home office or is confirmed to manage data outside from his workspace, and collaboration platforms like Google Workspace and Microsoft Office 365 become more and more important. As a Microsoft certified trainer, in my classes, most of the time people are asking about alternative to Microsoft 365. When I look on the market, the first parallel product to Office 365 that has the same level on the security, of the usability, on the complexity, and the complete set of tools that make it possible for a company to build all the different tasks for a daily work is Google Workspace. Google Workspace is in comparison to Office 365 also such a powerful platform where you have all product services in one set, and with one subscription you have access to all these tools. And today let us give a look on a user perspective. My scope here is not to give you a recommendation if you have to go for Google Workspace or for Microsoft 365. The only thing is to see what do we have inside of this set of products. When we look inside of the platform, we have different applications that fit different expectations or propose us different features based on the daily task we have in our on our desk at the work. Yes, I mean, from the one side, when we see that today email is a really important functionality to share contents, to share information with our customers, with our partners. And Google Workspace has, with the Gmail for business, a really powerful component that make it possible to share contents, to manage data with our companies, inside our companies, sharing it with our partners and customers, and following and give us the possibility to configure our security expectations in the company. On the other side, Microsoft proposed us the Outlook as a front-end application to send, receive, and manage our emails. And we have also this Exchange Online that proposes us in the back end a powerful platform to manage the security aspect, to make the administration of our platform, of our email, to build email flows, and to configure how to implement phishing security functionalities, antivirus inside of the emails management platform. The next tool in this suite is on the Google Workspace. Google proposed us Google Meet for videos and voice conferencing, Google Chat for secure messaging, and Google Shared Calendars to manage our calendars and events for each user. On the Microsoft side, we have just Microsoft Teams, where you can manage conference, voice conferencing, video call, where you can also manage phone call. And we have also the possibility here for each user to manage the calendar inside of Teams. And definitely in the Outlook, we have also an extension for the calendars so that each user can see all the appointments and manage his calendar inside of Outlook. That means here from Google side, we have two applications to manage this instance messaging, calendar, and conferencing. And on Microsoft side, the focus is here on Microsoft Teams. To create documents, to create reports and documents, Google Workspace proposes us here Google Docs to generate documents like Word document in the Office packet on the Office Microsoft part, Google Sheet compared to Microsoft Office Excel application, Google Slides it's compared to Office and PowerPoint. And we have your Google Keep to manage notes and share the notes. And on the Microsoft side, we have here OneNote, yes, where we can then take our notes and share it, insert pictures, and manage it inside of OneDrive to share it with other users. The next component here is the Google Forms, where we have the possibility to create things like survey, to build survey and to collect feedback from different teams, from different people, and have a dashboard where we can then analyze the report of all this survey in a diagram and statistic overview on the collected answer. On the Microsoft side, we have Microsoft Forms that make it possible to create dynamic form, adaptive forms, and collect also information based like a survey to collect feedback and to analyze it in a board where we can see the report in the diagram. And Microsoft proposes also here Power Apps if you want to build complex forms that maybe is adaptive to mobile platform like a smartphone, tablet, and we can then design the overview using the complex functionalities and collect data from different data sources like SharePoint or Microsoft Dynamics from OneDrive and display and adapt the front end to the user needs. We have Google in Google Workspace, we have the Google Sites that make it possible for companies to create website. It is a website builder to generate website to present the content to the user. And on the Microsoft side, we have Microsoft SharePoint Online. And the Microsoft SharePoint Online is really powerful to create content, present it to user, manage the content in list in document libraries, and create powerful front end based on the SharePoint framework that can help us to build and to connect this content to Power Apps and to build also automated process workflows based on this SharePoint content. We have an administration platform for the SharePoint Online that make it possible to implement things like data sharing with internal with external people, to implement our security requirements for the content inside of the SharePoint site. The next tool is in the Google Workspace, the Google Drive, that is really well known as a storage platform for Google. And with a Google subscription, we have here 30 gigabytes for each user inside of the Google Drive to manage the emails, to manage the document that a user have access to in his personal user part storage. On the Microsoft side, we have OneDrive that is also a storage application where for each subscription, each user has until 1 terabyte just for the data. For the emails management, we have 50 gigabyte just for the emails and 50 extra gigabyte for archive emails. Yes, that means in Office 365 we have more storage in one subscription compared to Google Workspace. We have one topic here, it's called security and administrative component inside of Google Workspace to manage the security aspect and to make the administrative work, that is the administration board. And on Microsoft 365 we have security and compliance center, where we have also the possibility to implement all the security requirements in the company. Here I will not go deeper in these two components because it's more for administrators. Then we have here for developer the possibility to implement to use Google App Engine to implement different type of solutions using Node.js, React, all type of development programming language, our needs to build data, to create data, to represent data on user needs on your front end, on mobile phone, on tablets, on website, on desktop computer. We can use the Google Apps Engine to implement all the requirements that we have to manage our data. On the Microsoft 365 side, we can use Power App to implement mobile application adapt to different devices. We can use the SharePoint framework to implement solutions that interact with our data containers like OneDrive, SharePoint, and all the data we have in the environment or in database in our cloud. We can then use the SharePoint framework to display these data inside of Microsoft Teams or on SharePoint websites, and yes, or on mobile phone. We have the Google, in the Google Cloud we have the possibility to display, to build streaming platform, to display, to show videos, collected videos. On Microsoft side we have the Microsoft Stream, that is compared to YouTube, where inside of the company we have videos, our product videos, meeting recording that we want to put in a place like in Gemma or in SharePoint to make the videos visible to a brighter palette of people. And to build our business processes, we have in Google Workspace the Google Cloud Workflow that help to implement complex workflows using diagram and yes, to implement different steps, generating document automatically, sending emails, and so on. On the Microsoft 365 part, we have here the Power Automate that will help us to interact, to automate processes, to create documents, send emails, interact, analyze data, connect to different data sources in our environment or outside of Office 365, collect data from databases, share it with other users. The last component here I want to give a look on is when we want to implement a hybrid scenario. Then in most of the case, companies exist for a long time before the cloud technology appears. So their users' data are already managed in directory in their on-premise environment like Active Directory, and to make it possible that all our employees who already have an account in our Active Directory on premise should have also use the same accounts to access to our cloud environment. In that case, we need to synchronize or to build a hybrid scenario that the on-premise user can access to the cloud. And in the Google side, we have here the Google Cloud Directory Sync to synchronize the user's data to the cloud, and the Google Suite password synchronization to synchronize the password of the user from the on-premise directory to the cloud directory. And on the other side, in the Microsoft environment, we have the Azure AD Connect to implement the connection between our on-premise environment to the Azure cloud, so that the Azure Active Directory can be connected to our on-premise directory and decide what are the different type of synchronization mechanism we want to have here, if we want all our data to be copied, if we just want a part of the data, if we want a password write back functionality, and so on. As we see that with Google Workspace, as also with Office 365, we have different tools that are available to implement the different scenarios, the different requirements and functionalities we need for our daily work. Another aspect I would like to give a short look is the subscription, because in the Google Workspace we have 4 subscriptions. Google Workspace Business Starter, just $6 per user per month, and the Google Workspace Business Standard, $12, the Premium, $80, and the Enterprise, $25 per user every month. And in each package there are some different stuff to take in consideration. And in the starter, for example, you are limited to maximum 300 users, and if you want to if your company has more than 200 users, then you need to create another subscription, and it is not possible to mix the subscription or to migrate from one subscription to the other. In the Microsoft environment, we have here for small companies the business subscription. In the business subscription, we have here the basic, the standard, and the premium that are also limited to maximum 300 users. That means if your company has more than 300 users, then the business you have to go for the enterprise package. In the enterprise, we have the E1, E3, and E5, and for this enterprise package, they are similar to the business one. The E1 and the business basics and do not offer the possibility to use the Microsoft Pro Plus, that means the Office package. We are not able then to download the Office package and to install it on our client PC. That means the Office package will be used just in the browser. And the E3 is similar to Business Standard. Here you have the Office Pro Plus installable on different clients of the user who are assigned to the Enterprise E3 or to Business Standard. Now the Business Premium is similar to the Enterprise E5, and here you have advanced possibility to implement security and compliance, to delegate the administrative task, and there are also versions like F1, F5 for the non-profit organization, for education centers, for government, and so on, that offer similar functionality but to a lower price for their subscriptions. I hope this short overview in the two suite Google Workspace and Microsoft 365 was important for you or useful. If you like this video, please share and stay in contact with Share47. Best thanks.